Guys, welcome back to the channel. We're doing a little bit of a role reversal on today's video. Ian is going to hit a new PXG iron. There's been at least 1,000 requests for Ian to hit some shots. You guys have probably had enough of me hitting shots, which is more than fair. I've probably had enough of hitting too many shots. So we're going to get Ian to hit shots today. We're testing the new PXG 0311P Gen 2. Did I say that right?
That's right.
It's like a barcode, basically, reading off this thing. We're going to start by having a little conversation about, I mean, haven't made irons in what, 3 years?
Yeah, it was the back end of 2015 when the original PXG launched.
So that's a big product gap. Like all these other companies replace in a year.
Right.
So to go and say, I'm going to leave 3 years between product cycles, I've seen the Parsons interview where he says they're so much better and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You've hit the oririnal ones.
Yep,
I have not.
tested them both.
So you'll be able to tell us, you know, do they feel any better? Are they flying any better for you, kind of thing.
Yep.
But I think more than anything else, this is a club review, so we're just going to talk about who this is designed for.
Yeah.
It's not designed for everyone because the price tag is not designed for everyone, so there's that. Maybe we can compare it to some other models that are in a different price range.
Yeah.
So if someone's interested in the technology, we can maybe say, look at this option. That would be cool to do.
Well, there's a few other heads in the market nowadays that are kind of competing in this space. Well, obviously
Conveniently, is this a good option here?
So you've got the TaylorMade P790, very similar profile, hollow construction with the speed foam inside it. Here we've got hollow construction with what's called Core 2 technology, which is the new version of the TPE that was in the original version. That's basically the gel that is inside the head that dampens the vibration and gives you such a good feel.
Right.
From a construction standpoint, we're looking at some really soft, I believe it's 8620 carbon steel they're using.
What does that mean?
Just a grade, just a you know, a grade of basically how soft they are, how hard
all these companies say that.
Yeah.
So if you see a number and then carbon steel, assume it means soft.
I mean, that, you know, you've got 1020 steel, you've got 1025. Just they're all different grades of steel, but you know, PXG are going for that soft, pure feel, and you know, 8620, I believe that's what it is. Is a very soft steel.
Okay.
So the glove is.
This is. I'm so excited.
No,
I'm
like a fish out of water.
I'm also nervous. Because people are going to have this camera angle of me. I'm not really sure what I'm going to have to say. I'll probably not cut to this angle very often. You can sort of do the hitting and the talking and the reviewing and the product specs.
Yeah.
But let's get you to hit some and see what you think first and foremost.
For sure. So starting specs, we moved it to my own loft, which is 29 degrees. It's what I always play. Okay. On the 6 iron.
That's weaker than it would come?
That is weaker than it would come by 1 degree.
Okay, so just a bit.
Yep, and this is 2 degrees flat as well.
2 degrees flat is what you play. Okay.
My miss is on the left side. Yep. I do tend to overcook the hook. Working on that a little bit in my swing and you
hit like 15 perfect shots in the warm-up, and you don't need to worry about disclaiming it. You're going to hit it fine. I'm not concerned.
It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
What shaft are you using?
Actually using the shaft that I used, the Nippon Super Peening Blue. Cool.
It's an interesting one. People don't know a ton about that.
Not many people know about that one. This is an old shaft that when I saw that our supplier they had inventory of that shaft. I was all over that.
So it's discontinued?
For the most part, yeah. You won't see it in anyone's sort of product line moving forward. The closest thing that you may see in the product line to this shaft, guys, is the Nippon Modus 125. I love the feel of the Super Peening Blue. For me, the Super Peening Blue is a really stable shaft, but doesn't feel it. It feels super smooth.
Interesting.
Doesn't feel overly harsh or stiff. The peening process is actually an application. I don't know how well we won't be able to really pick up on camera, Matt, but maybe you can kind of describe the look of it to you. It's not a high gloss finish.
I was going to say it looks satin finished.
A little bit of a satin finish. So that's the peening process that is on the outside of the shaft that gives the shaft more structural stability.
So it's not just a cosmetic thing.
No, it actually has functional application. So you know, it's designed to stop the shaft ovaling as much, a bit more consistency to the bend profile.
Cool.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here he goes. It's laser straight.
A wee bit heavy.
Okay. Good result.
Yep. Not bad.
So I guess one thing that would be interesting to touch on is for a player's iron, it's got a pretty wide sole on it.
It has a wider sole than I like, that's for sure.
So for someone like you, we've talked about turf interaction. Maybe if you're considering a player's iron and you come from a thinner sole, this can be a bit of an adjustment.
Bit of an adjustment. And actually, and it's typical for me as it is for other players who are shallow in the strike. I'm not much of a divot taker, as you'll see once we kind of look back over the numbers. It's actually interesting that it's not so much the steep guys who are in the turf that don't like a wide sole. It's the shallow guys that don't like a wide sole. Really? Yeah. Interesting. I see it all the time. The guys who are kind of a little bit shallower into it, they tend to catch it a little heavy.
And that's like the opposite of what most people think.
Most people think,
steeper you are, they think you need to worry about the sole more.
Exactly.
Well, good first swing for your debut. That was not too bad.
Thank you, Matty. See if we can hit one a bit more solid.
Very good.
A little bit.
Sounded more solid?
Was more solid.
So can we analyze this shot a bit, because you know your numbers better than probably anyone else.
Yeah.
Spin-wise, the spin rate to me is probably lower than what you would fit yourself to. Is that fair?
You know what, in actual fact, that would be appropriate for me, because if you look how high the launch is and you look at where the ball speed is, you'll actually see if you go over to the three trajectories, Matty. So you'll see the peak height's at 120 feet. So that's plenty of stopping power. Angle of descent at 49. So I don't really need spin to stop it. Like, I get it through ball speed and launch angle to create trajectory. So I'm okay at 5,000. I could probably lose spin, to be honest, and be okay.
And is that, would you say that spin it's not a lower spin club than your Strixon 765s?
No, similar. I'm 5,000-ish.
Interesting.
Give or take. But
launch angle a little higher than you're used to, or is that similar?
That's a little higher. I don't normally hit them at 120 feet. I'd be more
so much more weight down there. You'd think that they should pop it up for you.
I would definitely hit my Strixon 765s a little bit lower than that. Hang on to that a little bit.
It's not a bad miss. You're still on the green.
Yeah, the misses aren't too wild. They don't get too penalised. Just a little rusty. See if I can hit one here.
That sounded really good. A little left, but that's...
Again,
you haven't really crossed more than a foot left of the green. Feel-wise, it's probably been a while since you hit the originals.
Yeah.
Do they feel pretty similar? They must look pretty similar to you at address. Like, it's tough to tell.
We're testing, obviously, the 0311P.
Yeah.
I like the T a little bit more than the P. So this one would be the one that was closest to the original 0311 with less offset. Has quite a similar profile, but... so this is the new one to the range. There was the T last time, the standard 0311, then there was the XF.
Right.
And then this year they've got four. They've got the Ts, the Ps, the XF, and the SGI, which is a super game improvement. They've got 4 heads now.
Right. So
this one's a bit. This one's okay. I mean, a little big for me maybe.
I mean, I was going to say, for a player's iron, that looks totally different than what you're playing.
It does. It does.
So you'd have to be someone that is. It's not going to be someone that wants something that looks like a blade. There's no way that that type of player would be interested in that head.
Exactly.
It's a great hit.
It's a good one.
Best of the day.
Decent one.
So let's look at, if we look at that shot compared to your irons.
Yep.
Would you say that performance-wise, you're getting, that is obviously a misread on the strike because you hit that pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I hit that one good.
Numbers-wise, that's got to be pretty similar aside from the launch to what you get with yours.
I think I hit my own irons a bit further. A
little further.
Feel like
and what do you think's robbing you of the distance on these then?
The height. I think the ball spend too much time going upward, not enough time going forward. I feel like I'm launching them higher and spinning them a touch more. So I feel like I would probably be half a club longer with my Strixons than I am with these.
So it's a good kind of segue into saying player's iron for someone that wants more height, good option.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not many irons out there nowadays that we're seeing are going too high.
No.
It's the other way.
Especially in that category, there's not too many that are going too high.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you were, I mean, the only other thing that I guess be good to compare, we mentioned the P790s.
Sure.
If you're looking for a, which is not hard to do, a lower cost option than PXGs.
Yeah, I mean, let's quickly pop that on, hit 2. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
Let's pop that on, hit a couple.
If you were looking for something a little bit more in the normal price range, I guess, P790s have that pocket technology.
Yep.
What would be one more that you would recommend? I know the P790s are kind of your best seller.
Yeah, we do good with that one. A bit. Do what? Sorry, what's the characteristics?
I guess like a really fast ball speed iron that's relatively, I guess, compact.
Sure.
They've sort of hidden the technology in the head a bit.
Strixon.
The Strixon,
765. You know, it always surprises people when they go, there's no gimmicks with this club, there's no slots or gels or anything, you know, yet when we try them with people, they generally hit them really, really well.
Right. Let's see you hit one with that and see how similar they are.
How it fits in there. Pulled that one a little, Matty.
Oh, Toey?
No, it was good. It was a good strike. I just kind of tugged it a little bit.
Oh, tugged it, okay. A lot longer. So we're going to see less spin, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot less spin. So that's an important one, is the P790s you're finding are way lower spin than most. And then something like this is kind of more normal spin.
So this has 27 degrees of loft. That had 29 degrees of loft. So that 2 degrees is definitely playing a role in that. I don't mind the height. I still had plenty high enough to play something like a P790.
Right.
You know, that was just...
You just pulled it a bit.
Just pulled that touch. It was a good strike. Now that was a really heely miss. Wait till you watch this one.
Didn't hurt your direction, did it?
No. Just, I mean, these are quick. These P790s, they're very, very fast. Yeah, that's
so you retained all that ball speed pretty much, didn't you?
And that's where I didn't feel like at the PXGs. I was at my usual, as I said, average is 132 with mine. Okay. Normally I'm right around about there. This is 126 and a miss, okay, but it still kind of kept its 190 on the fly, which is like that half a club further. Like I kind of feel like I am.
Could you probably achieve more similar results strengthening those PXGs down to 27?
Maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Probably narrow that gap a bit.
Certainly high enough.
Yeah. So I mean, you're getting a similar ball flight, but you're definitely getting a little bit more horsepower out of those, which makes sense with the loft.
So like for me, I would look at that. If I was analysing, a student that was in here, I would look at that and go, definitely drop the spin a little bit there. Struck that one in the surprised that dropped as much ball speed as that. Actually felt like quite a good strike.
Yeah, it sounded quite good.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Maybe a fraction of a misread, something along those lines. But yeah, definitely a little spike in ball speed. There's one miss sort of in there, but averaging kind of high 120s, and then we were able to see a little bit more from the TaylorMades. Interesting. But to kind of cue back and why we done the video, to kind of do a little review on the PXGs. Yeah. They feel good. Yeah. They feel really good. It's quite hard to detect a miss hit, I must say.
So you're finding that they are more resistant to the feedback in terms of mishitting it.
PXG's whole ambition with their company is to eliminate the miss hit.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
So they want you to get the same result.
They want you to hit it anywhere, everywhere, all over the map, and pretty much get the same result. That's the ultimate goal with what they're trying to do.
So in that sense, this is not even a competition to most players' irons. Most companies wouldn't make a claim like that. They wouldn't say, we don't want you to have any of that kind of players' feel and feedback. They're just saying, forget all that. Let me give you a shot that flies identical, whether it's on the toe, heel, or center.
Right, exactly.
It is pretty interesting. So I guess the one question is, like, who are these for?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say they're just another fitting option. They're not, because they are at least twice as expensive as a competitive club. Is that fair to say?
Canadian market, they're $520 a head.
Right, and a P790 is what?
$225, $220.
And that's a fairly expensive head already. So 2.5 times more expensive than one of the more expensive heads. So I would never want to say, okay guys, go out and try a bunch of clubs and make sure you try PXGs because they're a good option. They are a luxury product built for a very small segment.
Definitely.
Could they fit a bunch of people that have no interest in that amount of money? Probably, but they're built, I mean, it's like a luxury car, I guess. What I would say would be kind of cool to take away is they definitely perform nicely. They're good clubs, but it would be ridiculous to say that they're better than everything else out there by some massive margin. It's people are getting into PXG for other reasons than just to say, you know, they're made to a crazy standard. They look really nice. They're probably finished a bit more, I don't know, what would the word be? A little bit more hands-on attention to the way they finish each club.
Yeah, definitely.
The manufacturing process.
Yeah, I mean that's all very true of it, and you know, obviously, you know, the whole idea with Parsons Extreme Golf is it's club design with no limits.
Yeah, he said, what was his quote? They're running a race with no finish line.
Yeah.
He kept saying that.
That's right. There is no budget. There's no intended launch dates. They launch when they want. They launch, like, you know, he will often say, I may launch another new 4-irons next year if we have the next breakthrough.
If it warrants it,
If it warrants it, if it's good enough, you know, he'll make us. He plays by his own rules. Yeah. Generally, as a maverick, you know, in the industry, he'll play by his own rules. Fair play. I mean, I had an interesting discussion. I was on a podcast early in the week, and we were kind of discussing, you know, Nike and their sort of inability to penetrate the market. PXG have come in and kind of, you know, got into the market.
They've gotten
on
the tour as well.
And tour. They've got a, you know, small but, you know, quite kind of talented tour staff on the men and women's side.
And those people, it's important to say, they could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
I really doubt that I know they're spending more money on the clubs, manufacturing. Would you think they probably didn't just go after people and say, I'm going to give you 3 times what TaylorMade would give you? There's no way. Because TaylorMade's budget for tour players is very much the most healthy on tour. So I don't think that, you know, Billy Horschel, for example, he played these clubs, you know, because obviously he thinks that they're at least good enough to play and they give him good performance. I don't think they bought anyone. I think most people think they did.
Yeah.
There's no way that a player of his caliber, a FedEx Cup champion kind of guy, would just say, yeah, buy me, I'll play whatever you have.
I think a lot of those guys were excited by the opportunity to come in at the ground level and have design input and that sort of thing on these lines of clubs. And, you know, I know that some of the players have had struggles with the driver.
Interesting.
You know, Zach Johnson was probably the main one. So he signed for PXG off the back of winning the 2015 British Open.
Wow.
Just after that. And, you know, he played his 915 D2 probably around that time, something like that. Drove it great with that D2 head. Tried a bunch of PXG drivers, just couldn't get it. They actually gave him, the only guy they gave him permission actually to go back to his old head.
So he's the only one.
While they figured it out. Now he's back in a PXG head again. Now they've kind of, I think they've got one. But even look at when we done Wine the Bag for Billy Horschel, he was using a prototype head.
That's true.
It's called the XXF, which is the low spin version of the forgiving head that they do. So, you know, they're working with their tour staff, and, you know, maybe they see the 2 different segments as less crossover. Maybe they see, you know, tour products and you know, consumer products, that sort of thing. So it's going to be an interesting ride with them. They're making waves, and they've got everyone's attention. The price tag, the pizzazz, the marketing that's behind it. You can't turn the Golf Channel on now without seeing a commercial with Bob Parsons on there. So yeah, it'll be an interesting ride to see where they end up. So
I agree.
You know, and a welcomed addition. Our customers, you know, a lot of the time will come in and, you know, they'll probably the only brand they come in and go, I only want PXGs.
I was just going to say that. I doubt this comes up as, hey, here's a bunch of different irons, guys.
Here's a G400.
Throw that in there.
Here's a Callaway Rogue, and here's a PXG. It doesn't really work.
So someone's requested it.
Yeah.
I guess the good news is it is a nice performing club that has many options within the line.
Yeah.
So you can still fit someone nicely to it.
Yeah.
But they came in and they wanted this brand, and that's the story.
And the moral of the story is they performed great.
Yeah.
They really performed
really
great.
nice
I mean, I think I would spend a little bit of time with that, messing with the loft. I'd probably go to the T-head. Interestingly, I didn't feel very good with my old shafts today in that head. My shaft in that head didn't feel right at all.
So you might need to tweak the shaft.
I would tweak that a little bit and give myself a different feel. It didn't feel quite what it used to, but that's part of the process, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, that's good. I think that was a good test. I'm glad that everyone's going to be satisfied that you hit some shots. You're satisfied because you hit a lot of good shots.
First and last of the year.
I stood back here and did a whole lot of nothing. I'm not sure what I did, but here we are. Let us know, guys, if you found this test of PXGs interesting. I'm not going to say we're going to review PXG clubs all the time. We probably won't.
Yeah.
But we haven't done a club test in a while, and I just thought it'd be cool to do something that it's a polarizing club, I would say.
Yeah, splits the crowd, doesn't
People
it?
definitely go after it because it's so expensive, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is there's expensive things in every aspect of consumer products, cars, houses, whatever.
They make no apologies for what they are.
Yeah. Good review. I'm pretty happy with that. I think you could play those.
I could play. I could maybe throw them in the long irons, but I'm going to as a follow up to this, try the tees.
You can try the tee.
Try the tees. See how it feels.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to do a little shaft change.
I think so. I think I've got to go with something that shaft felt too soft in that all the gym work.
I'm sorry that I couldn't give you the feedback to tell you that your shaft was. See, this is why Ian doesn't hit too much, because he now has to give his own feedback.
Got to fit myself.
About his own clubs, and I've just pretty much done a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks for watching, guys. This was fun to do a little role reversal today.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we're going to do this. I mean, I think we're both uncomfortable doing the opposite, but maybe we'll do it once every couple shoots and we'll get used to it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.